Good evening.
Hey, Mary.
Hello.
You'll have to let me know how you did that.
Sure.
Mary and Tricia, you're both the ASL interpreter. Thank you very much for your time on here. Can you let us know what your schedule is? Because I think we'd like to pin you on the Zoom call. So if you're going to swap out, could you please just let us know, a little bit before when you might be swapping out?
How would you like to do that? Because we switch out approximately every 20 minutes. So I'm not sure. I'm happy to do that. It's not my
Okay,
usual way of doing it, but
If you could raise your hand within the Zoom, that'll be enough for me to know to do it. So, I think if you go to on the bottom row, just raise hand. That should
right.
tackle it. Yeah.
So
so
So the
Tricia raised
first-
her hand. And so we will elevate her and pin her. Or you guys are communicating in the back when you want to kind of like switch over?
yeah, we have a system that we've worked out between the two of us. Like I said, it's approximately 20 minutes-ish in between. Depending if somebody's in the middle of a sentence or if there's one particular person testifying, we'll wait until they're done.
Okay.
But give or take 20 minutes. But I guess so whoever is going to be swapping out the interpreter who's working at the moment will raise their hand and then you will handle changing who is pinned.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Okay. We are going to officially start soon, so if there's any other housekeeping, please let us know.
I don't believe so. I can't think of anything, Trish.
I was just going to say Mary's going to start, and then again, when I will close my camera while
Yes.
she's working, and then I'll put my camera on. I'll raise my hand, so then that way you'll know that the switch is going to happen. You'll pin me, and then she'll put her camera off.
Perfect. Thank you.
All right. I'm going to mute myself because do we know if we have any deaf participants asking to make comments this evening?
No one yet.
Okay.
And I'm just doing an audio check to make sure you guys can hear me.
Sounds good.
Thank you.
We're doing an audio check for Mr. Williams. Can you hear us?
Yes.
Great, thank you.
Welcome, everyone. We're going to get started. You are tuning into the remote public scoping session for Caesars Palace Times Square project. Thank you for joining. I'm Robert Williams, Executive Director of the New York State Gaming Commission, and I'll be presiding over today's scoping session in accordance with the State Environmental Quality Review Act, which is commonly referenced as SEQR. Today's date is May 21st, 2025, and the time is 5:03 p.m. Please note that this session is being recorded. For those of you who have logged on to Zoom and requested language access services, please click the interpretation button on the bottom of your Zoom screen and select the applicable language. For those of you on a mobile device, tap the three dots in the lower right, select interpretation, and select the applicable language. Please be sure to select the mute original audio button on your screen. Once you have selected the interpretation choice, the interpreter will be there to translate the session. Additionally, American Sign Language interpretation will occur within the main Zoom window. No one has requested language interpretation for the scoping session. However, any comments on the draft scope of work received in languages other than English will be translated and considered. If you're experiencing any audio issues at any time during the session, please dial 877-853-5247 or 888-788-0099 or 646-558-8656 or 253-215-8782 with session identification 83407575926 and passcode 1 to participate by phone. For other technical issues, please call the number 877-853-5247 and enter in the meeting number or identification 899-7677-5806 and password 1 to receive help. On April 18th, 2025, the Commission assumed designation as a SEQR lead agency for the Caesars Palace Times Square project application to construct a commercial casino and associated development at 1515 Broadway, New York, 10036 in block 10616 on the lot 36. The location is bounded by West 44th and West 45th Street and 7th Avenue and Schubert Alley. The project is contingent on the issuance of a commercial casino gaming facility license by the New York State Gaming Commission. The proposed action is discretionary, subject to environmental review under SEQR. The Commission determined the project to be a Type 1 action, and accordingly, the Caesars Palace Times Square project applicant prepared Part 1 of the full environmental assessment form. After reviewing and analyzing the environmental assessment form 1 and Part 2 on May 2nd, 2025, the Commission found the proposed action has the potential to result in one or more significant adverse environmental impacts in one or more environmental areas and determined that a draft environmental impact statement or DEIS was required and should be prepared. As required by SEQR, the Caesars Palace Times Square project environmental consultants prepared a draft scope of work in consultation with the Commission. The Commission circulated its positive declaration, notice of environmental or SEQR scoping session, and draft scope of work to involved and interested agencies and published the notices in the New York State Department of Environmental Conservation's Environmental Notice Bulletin on May 7th, 2025. Accordingly, the Commission scheduled this SEQR scoping session to obtain public input for the final scope of the draft environmental impact statement. Together, we are here to receive comments on the draft scope of work for the Caesars Palace Times Square project. The draft scope of work identifies all subjects that will be analyzed in the draft environmental impact statement and explains how those subjects will be studied. The draft scope is available on the website shown on the screen. The purpose of today's scoping session is to allow for public participation in the preparation of the DEIS at the earliest stage possible in the environmental review process. Specifically, the scoping allows the public to shape the DEIS before it is written. To that end, the Commission will have an opportunity today to receive comments on the draft scope from elected officials, government agencies, community board representatives, and members of the public. We will also continue the scoping session on Wednesday, May 28th, 2025, from 5 p.m. to at least 7 p.m. We also welcome written comments on the draft scope of work. Please note that we extended the public comment period by an additional 7 days. Those comments can be submitted through 5 p.m. on June 11th via email or by mail, mailing the comments to the address on the screen. Subsequently, the draft environmental impact statement will be prepared in accordance with the final scoping document and will contain detailed information regarding the proposed action, potential environmental impacts, and appropriate measures to avoid, minimize, and/or mitigate any significant impacts encountered, as well as a description of reasonable alternatives and the no action alternative. The DEIS will be made available for public comment and review following its consideration by the Commission as lead agency. Once the DEIS is accepted, the Commission will solicit comments on that draft document. At the end of the scoping comment period, the Commission, in its role as lead agency, will review all comments, those we hear today, as well as all written comments we receive. After carefully reviewing all comments, the Commission will decide what changes, if any, need to be made to the draft scope of work, and the Commission will issue a final scope of work. It is the final scope of work that will serve as the basis for preparing the DEIS. No decisions will be made today regarding the draft scope of work. A final scoping document is expected to be completed within 60 days of submission of the draft scope of work for environmental impact statement and will be based on a full consideration of the comments received on the draft scoping document, either orally here today, on Wednesday, May 28th, or in writing before the end of the comment period. Today's session will be divided into 3 parts. The first part of the session, we will have a brief overview describing Caesars Palace Times Square project and a summary of the draft scope of work. During the second part of the session, we will receive comments on the draft scope from government elected officials and government agencies. During the third and final portion of tonight's session, the Commission will receive comments from the community board chairs and district managers, organizations, and the public. The session will end only when everyone who has signed up to provide testimony has had an opportunity to be heard. As noted earlier, the scoping session will continue with oral comments being accepted next week on May 28th. Today's session will not be a question and answer session, but is intended to allow the public the opportunity to provide meaningful input regarding the scope and content of the draft environmental impact statement. On to logistics for today's scoping session. To those who have joined by telephone, you may dial *9 to indicate your desire to provide oral testimony during the public comment portion of tonight's session. Participants using the raise hand function or *9 will be added to the end of the speaker list in the order in which they raise their hand or press *9. Once you have spoken, we will lower your hand Speakers will be identified by their name or the last 3 digits of their telephone number. The option to sign up to speak will end at 7 o'clock tonight. If you are reading prepared comments, it would be helpful to us if you email a copy of your comments to the commission at kristen.buckley@gaming.ny.gov. That's KRISTEN.BUCKLEY. When it is your turn to speak, your name will be called and you will be granted temporary speaking privileges by the session administrator, which will allow you to temporarily unmute your microphone. Please note that promoting speakers can take some time, so please be patient with the process. Once your name has been called, unmute your microphone or telephone and start your remarks. To allow us to hear from everyone who wishes to speak, we ask you to limit your remarks to 3 minutes. You will note a 3-minute countdown clock will run on the screen. You will be advised when 10 seconds are remaining and when time is expired. Lines will be muted for speakers who go past 3 minutes. If you join by telephone only, we will announce when the 3 minutes have passed. Once again, interpretation services are available today. 5 minutes of speaking time will be allotted to those needing such services. Comments provided in languages other than English will be translated into English. Any comments on the draft scope of work received in languages other than English will be translated and considered. If you wish to only provide written testimony, it can be submitted to the commission by either mailing or emailing the addresses shown on the slide. Joining us next is Robert Schiffer, Executive Vice President at SL Green, presenting on behalf of the applicant team for the Caesars Palace Times Square project. I'd like Mr. Schiffer to begin the session by providing a short project presentation on behalf of the applicant, after which Lynn Doe, a representative of AKRF Incorporated, the environmental consultant firm preparing the seeker EIS, will discuss the draft scope of work and the analysis framework for the environmental review. Mr. Schiffer?
Thank you, and good evening. My name is Robert Schiffer, Executive Vice President of Development at SL Green Realty Corp., and I am proud to present this proposal on behalf of 3 best-in-class organizations that have a long history of investing in New York City: SL Green, Caesars Entertainment, and Rock Nation. As we did with One Vanderbilt, we always make the utmost effort to meet with all stakeholders and embrace a true public-private partnership model. Therefore, in response to community input, we suggested, and the commission agreed, to extend the comment period by a week to make sure everyone's voice will be heard. Next. Times Square is the most recognizable entertainment center in the world. Its bright lights, bustle, and energy make this the logical location for a gaming facility, and we have designed a proposal that is perfectly in character with the neighborhood and will generate enormous benefits to its neighbors without displacing any residents or potential future housing development. This location also enables us to deliver the most sustainable possible project. Next. Most gaming facilities are designed to keep people inside, with dozens of restaurants, theaters, spas, and retail. But all of that entertainment already exists in Times Square. So Caesars Palace Times Square will take the opposite approach. Instead of building big, we're reusing an existing outmoded office building, creating a hotel and gaming facility within a 1960s era building. As a result, we will generate demand for more hotel rooms, meals, and entertainment than we could possibly capture, creating a halo effect that will drive new business to the existing network of hotels, theaters, restaurants, and bars that surround the project. And that's why so many businesses in and around Times Square support our project. Most importantly, our development exists in one of the most transit-rich locations in all of New York City, served by nearly every major subway line and commuter hub. And as we'll discuss today and in our studies, this location will uniquely welcome almost all of its visitors by public transportation or by simply walking. Next, 1515 Broadway is an existing mixed-use building within the heart of Times Square's Bowtie. Its current program and use entails 1.6 million square feet of commercial space, 22,000 square feet of retail space, 20,000 square feet of media and broadcast studios, a 72,000 square foot parking garage, which we will eliminate, and a Broadway theater. Next. Our proposal converts the building into a world-class hotel entertainment destination while adaptively reusing the existing structure. This is adaptive reuse at its finest, a low carbon footprint solution that creates faster delivery with fewer disruptions during construction. And critically, as mentioned earlier, the project offers substantially fewer interior entertainment options than is typically found in the Las Vegas gaming model, meaning guests will naturally seek dining, experience, and entertainment outside the building, benefiting our neighbors and hundreds of local businesses. Next. When you look at the current and planned uses side by side, at first glance, it's hard to tell them apart. We will do some remassing in the podium to accommodate the gaming floors and our dining and entertainment offerings. But beyond that, we are simply reusing and revitalizing the existing building, the most sustainable approach to development. Next. In conclusion, Caesars Palace Times Square is a responsible, contextual, sustainable, and community-forward proposal delivered by a partnership that understands what makes New York special. SL Green, as the largest commercial landlord in New York City, brings deep experience in complex, transformative projects and nearly 30 years of commitment to work alongside our neighbors to make New York City a better place. Caesars is the nation's leading gaming company, offering a global track record of hospitality and entertainment and an unparalleled commitment to responsible gaming. And Roc Nation, the world's preeminent entertainment company, born and based here in New York and committed to the future of this city and everything it does. Together, this team is committed to a New York first, neighborhood forward, sustainable approach. In addition to our programming for inside of 1515 Broadway, we've spent the last 4 years meeting with our neighbors to ensure that our programming outside of the building meets the existing needs of the community with significant investments in security, sanitation, beautification, social services, and the arts. Through this approach, we've earned the support of over 200 businesses and organizations in this community to ensure that our project will uplift the entire neighborhood. Thank you for your time, and I turn it over to Lynn Doe of AKRF.
Thank you, Rob. Hello, I am Lynn Doe, Senior Vice President at AKRF. We are the environmental consultant that will be preparing the EIS for this project. As Rob noted, the proposed gaming program would predominantly occupy the existing building program and footprint and massing. Oops. The environmental review would focus on the difference between the existing commercial, theater, and retail uses and the proposed gaming and hotel facility, which would introduce new land uses to a building should we receive a gaming license. As such, the secret analysis program will comprise a reasonable worst-case development scenario that focuses on the incremental difference between the no action, which assumes the continuation of an approximately 2 million square foot building as a commercial office tower with local retail, studio, and a parking garage. Compared with the with action, that includes the gaming and entertainment space, approximately 1,100 room hotel, nominal on-site parking, and the provision of off-site parking. Even though this is an adaptive reuse project with only an incremental increase of approximately 100,000 square feet, it is the activities generated by the new land uses that will be the focus of this EIS. I would like to note that to provide program flexibility, the reasonable worst case program shown here assumes a slightly larger hotel and theater use than Rob presented earlier. From a seeker analysis perspective, it is more conservative to account for potentially denser activity. The analysis year, excuse me, the analysis year for this project is 2031. This is when we assume the full program is anticipated to be at full operations. The seeker approach will apply the methodologies and thresholds as outlined in the 2021 Secret Technical Manual. The Secret Technical Manual provides methodologies for conducting analyses for a wide range of technical areas, and while it was created by New York City, is relied upon by many state agencies as the guidance because it is considered to provide the most appropriate direction for evaluating in-city projects. The Secret Technical Manual looks at the 19 technical areas shown here, and our secret document will assess the project's effects on these areas either through screenings or detailed analysis. Additionally, where the analysis discloses the potential for significant adverse impacts, the EIS will also discuss potential mitigation measures and alternatives to the project that would avoid or minimize those impacts to the extent practicable. For this adaptive reuse project, we anticipate the need to focus on two key technical areas. I would like to highlight those two today: transportation and construction. And should there be disclosed significant adverse impacts, the EIS will look at mitigation and alternatives. As you can see here, this slide shows the proposed site access and circulation at the project site. A hotel drop-off area is proposed on West 45th Street, a parking entry on eastbound West 44th Street, with it exiting on the westbound 45th Street. Based on the reasonable worst-case development scenario, we conducted preliminary detailed trip assignments. Following standard New York City Department of Transportation methodology, we identified in the draft scope of work the need to perform detailed analysis for 18 traffic intersections, including at the proposed off-site parking facility to the north, and 32 pedestrian elements surrounding the site. This is reasonable since the project is essentially a building retrofit and not a new building or collection of new buildings. In anticipation of community concerns related to the disruption to the area due to construction, our EIS will assess the construction schedule and logistics and on-site activities and their effects on transportation, noise, and vibrations. And with this, I end my presentation on the draft scope of work and look forward to hearing your comments. Back to you, Mr. Williams.
Thank you, Lynn. As a reminder, the purpose of today's session is to accept comments on the draft scope of work. Comments can be submitted in multiple fashions: at today's hearing, in spoken testimony, and by electronic mail and traditional mail to the Gaming Commission. Both our email address and mailing address are listed on the slide and on the Commission's website. Comments will be accepted through 5 p.m. June 11th, 2025. Before we start with part 2, I want to mention that elected officials and government agencies are not limited to 3 minutes. We will now move on to part 2 of this session, where we will receive comments on the draft scope from elected officials and government agencies. When it is your turn to speak, your name will be called and we will grant you temporary microphone access. You will be prompted to unmute and will be able to share your comments. If anyone experiences technical difficulties during the testimony, we will pause and move to the next speaker to allow for troubleshooting to occur in the background, and we will call your name at a later time. Let's move on to our government elected officials and government agencies. Our first speaker is?
Our first speaker is Assembly Member Jordan Wright. Assemblymember Wright, just give us a moment to promote you and unmute your line.
Hi there, can everybody hear me?
Yes.
Fantastic. Hello, everyone. My name is Assemblyman Jordan Wright, and I represent the 70th Assembly District in the New York State Assembly. I'm here today as a representative from Harlem to speak in favor of the proposed Caesars Palace Times Square project. Caesars Palace Times Square is an adaptive reuse of an existing commercial office building located in the heart of Times Square's bow tie. I appreciate mixed use and reuse of existing buildings as we find ourselves in the midst of a housing crisis, and innovative building use is of the utmost
Assembly member, we seem to have lost your connection. If you're able to get back in, we can come back to your comments. And with that, I do not believe we have any other elected officials at this point.
Okay, Lee, obviously.
Times Square is the best option for a new gaming and entertainment facility. It's the tour.
Assemblyman, we're having issue hearing your remarks.
Hi there, I apologize. Am I back on?
We got you now. It's kind of cutting in and
Okay,
out.
sorry. Got it. I'll try to, wrap up quickly. And Times Square, Caesars Palace does not take away any of the housing opportunities that New Yorkers, including my constituents, desperately need. The team behind the Caesars Palace Times Square has spent the last 4 years meeting with community members and incorporating their feedback into the project and earning the support of over 200 local businesses. And this because this means jobs for my district. They have earned my support as well. And they've earned support of hundreds of restaurants, including Melba's, which is located in my district of Harlem, USA. Thank you all so much. And I apologize deeply for the technical difficulties. Thank you.
Thank you. And that is all we have for elected officials at this time.
Okay, so we're going to move on to part 3 of the scoping session, where community board representatives, organizations, and members of the public are invited to speak. The instructions are the same as we've referenced earlier. When it's your turn to speak, your name will be called and you will be granted temporary microphone access. Please note that after your 3 minutes have passed, you will be asked to conclude your remarks. If you have experienced technical issues during your testimony, we will pause and move on to the next speaker to allow troubleshooting to occur in the background. When we will call your name again once you have been able to rejoin us. Mr. Park, will you call our first speaker?
Yes, our first speaker is Thomas Ricardo. If we can just give us a moment to unmute you.
Sorry about that.
We hear you.
Wonderful. On comment, I would just wanted to point out some of the considerations that some of the community board are looking at the time. I'm on community board 5, some of the considerations to just note are looking at the public space in Times Square, the pops that are being created within that space, as well as other things that the community board would be looking at and want to note would be, the effect on that, as well as the effect with the new zoning coming forward and how that would affect the transportation and the effect on that. And that is going to be the focus of the those are things that the community board focus on and will be discussed about when you take a look at this. That is my full comment. Thank you.
Thank you. Just one moment while we find the next name. Amber Nicosia. Amber Nicosia is next. Just give us a moment to elevate you, please.
Okay. Good evening. My name is Amber Nicosia. I'm here to support this project. I think we cannot be naive. We know that one of the locations for a casino will most likely be in Manhattan. And of those proposals, I believe the only location that makes sense is the Times Square location. In every other area that's been proposed, a casino would dramatically change the community and the neighborhood. But I think if we want to be honest, that it will fit in seamlessly into Times Square. And I think more than that, this project may be one of the only opportunities that we have to solve some of the longstanding issues that have been plaguing this area throughout my lifetime. I love Broadway. I go to a lot of shows, but I know this area very intimately. I played chess here as a child. I worked in a coffee shop in Times Square after college, and I served on Community Board 4, where I spent years listening to businesses tell us how they were struggling to solve community of life issues that were impacting their businesses. So it's an area I feel very connected to and very motivated to try to find a solution that hasn't been provided by local government or by the city. So I know a lot of people say they don't like change. You're going to hear that probably tonight, but I think Times Square needs something to happen on a large scale, something dramatic if these issues are going to be resolved. I also have to say something about housing, which was mentioned in the presentation. I'm a housing advocate. I believe strongly that the open land that we have should be used for housing. We have a housing crisis in New York City, and I think that the use of open land has to go first to be able to solve that issue. So the fact that this is an existing building very much falls into line with what many people throughout New York are describing would be the best use for a casino in terms of it not being able to eat up usable space. So just on that point, responding to the presentation. But specifically, I'm here to talk about some of the positives, which is revitalizing the theater district, which I've seen declining throughout probably last 10, 15 years. I'd love to see business come in and be able to revitalize and be able to support the theaters that I enjoy going to. I know that we need good union construction jobs, and I know people who work in construction jobs need access to public transportation. During that, this will be provided. I think it'll revitalize the restaurants and the music venues. So to end with, I'm just going to say briefly, I don't believe this is not only the most appropriate site, but I think that this site would actually benefit from a gaming license. And for this reasons, I support the Caesar Palace Times Square. Thank you.
Next is Thomas Ferrugia. Thomas Ferrugia.
Hi, I'm Tom Ferrugia. I'm the Director of Governmental Affairs with the Broadway League, which is the trade association representing over 800 theatrical producers, theater owners, presenters, and general managers. We also represent all 41 Broadway venues. We are also a member of the No Times Square Casino Coalition that includes over 30 businesses and residential organizations in Times Square. including the United Federation of Teachers, Broadway Cares, Equity Fights AIDS, and IATSE, which is a major labor representative for Broadway employees. I've provided my entire statement in writing, so I'm just going to provide a truncated version due to time constraints. We have several concerns about the construction that we wanted to bring to your attention. Number one being noise pollution and community disruption. Ongoing noise will directly impact from the construction will directly impact 6 Broadway theaters located along 44th and 45th Streets adjacent to 1515 Broadway. These venues rely on controlled environments for rehearsals and performance. Excessive noise will compromise production quality, patron experience, and the livelihoods of cast and crews and staff. The next one is traffic congestion and public access. According to the Times Square Alliance, the neighborhood sees approximately 206,000 pedestrians daily. According to the MTA, approximately 500,000 vehicles enter the central business district every day. 4.5 years of construction equipment, detours, and lane closures will exacerbate congestion, delaying emergency services, deliveries, and daily commutes while restricting access to cultural institutions. Economic displacement. The building is now occupied by a 1,700-seat theater, commercial retailers, and corporate offices, all of which must be shuttered or relocated to accommodate this development. Meanwhile, the Broadway industry risks loss of income due to restricted access and visual degradation. Lack of environmental enhancement. According to the Gaming Facility Location Board's first round of casino applicant Q&As, the applicant should provide evidence of a positive environmental impact, including minimal displacement and overall reduced carbon footprint resulting from using an existing structure. There's no evidence of positive environmental impact from this development. And the last point that I will touch on, again, I have additional points in this written statement that we've submitted. This project is inconsistent with community needs and character. This project appears misaligned with the needs and values of the neighborhood. It undermines the principles of responsible urban planning by imposing large-scale disruption on an economically productive neighborhood. Long-term costs to cultural integrity, public health, and economic activity far outweigh the speculative benefits of this development. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you. Next is Jarrell Gibbs. Jarrell Gibbs.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Hello, my name is Jarrell Gibbs, and I'm a member of Local 79, and I'm here in support of Caesars Palace Times Square. Of all the potential sites for a gaming license, this is the only gaming project where labor stands to gain new good-paying union jobs that won't exist without the license. Every other proposed site will be developed one day with or without a gaming license, and those are empty parcels of land, and those should be built by union labor. But the only way to develop this site is as a union job is by giving it a gaming license. By saying yes to Caesars Palace Times Square, the city will gain more union jobs than it had the day before, or will it have in the future without it. That's a win for the working men and women of this city. We have met with this team behind Caesars Palace Times Square for over 4 years, and they understand the importance of labor and construction trades. They have a history of working with labor, and they are using this project to create a win for all New Yorkers. And with that, they have earned my support. Thank you.
Next is Tafadar Sorov. Tafadar Sorov. I apologize if I mispronounced that.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Hey, good afternoon. Thank you for having us. So my name is Tafadar. I am a member of Laborers Local 79. I became a member of that union as an apprentice, where I learned the construction trade. And, I got to work on job sites all over the city. And most importantly, from a young age, I was able to build a serious career that allowed me to become a homeowner in this city and a productive citizen where, I'm able to take part through my union and being, a worker that builds the city and fights for it to make it better every day. And right now, I want to use my voice to speak up for the fact that we support putting this casino in Times Square through the Caesars Entertainment proposal. I think there's a lot of things that our city needs all over and a lot of things that could get built in a lot of open spaces, especially housing. But Times Square would be the perfect location for this casino. and it would create so many good paying union jobs that are desperately needed by working people all over our city. Opportunities like the one I had to elevate myself and the brothers and sisters in my union and the rest of the building trades. It creates very good paying jobs that have medical benefits, retirement benefits. And these are the sorts of opportunities that we should be creating as a world-class city that has so much wealth and abundance in it. I think by saying yes to the Caesars Palace Times Square proposal, the city's definitely going to gain more union jobs. And that's vital for our future. It's going to be a win for the working men and women of the city. And like my colleague Jarrell before me said, we've been repeatedly engaged by the team behind this proposal. They've been talking to us for years now, and that's a good sign of respect for the working men and women of the city. And this is a great proposal. This is a great place to build it. I hope to see it go through. And thank you for your time. And
Thank you. Next is Jeffrey Bank. Jeffrey Bank.
Hi, my name is Jeffrey Bank, and I've been a restaurateur in Times Square for over 33 years now. I own and operate Carmine's Family Style Italian Restaurant, Virgil's Barbecue, and Mermaid Oyster Bar. This Caesars Casino will bring badly needed business to my fellow Times Square restaurants. The voucher programs that Caesar will be implementing for redemption in our local restaurants is a reason that many of the local restaurants are very excited about this project. For example, Broadway theaters have changed their start time from 8 p.m. to 7 p.m. That has cost restaurants dearly, as that hour change has cost restaurants many pre-theater dining customers. Return to office is simply not happening. A 3-day office work week is now standard in the city. With Caesars committed to giving out thousands of dining vouchers each day, this would be a lifesaver for restaurants and also create more quality jobs. The Caesars Casino is going to be an upscale boutique, hotel, and gaming facility. The gaming will not be on the ground floor the way we explained it, and therefore would have a positive impact on the Times Square neighborhood by the guests that it would bring in. The investment by SL Green in the security and safety is badly needed in Times Square. We all know that. This commitment is another huge reason that local businesses are very excited and hopeful that the license will be awarded to Caesars here in Times Square. I personally have worked with Caesars for over 20 years now in Atlantic City and Las Vegas. They have earned my unconditional support for this project.
Thank you. Next is Harvey Mars. Harvey Mars.
Yes, is my mic unmuted?
Yes, we can hear you.
Thank you. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak in favor of the Caesars project in Times Square. As you mentioned, my name is Harvey Mars. I am recording vice president of Local 802 AFM, the largest local of musicians in the country. Later this year, the New York State will make a determination as to the best location for a casino in New York and who will get the license to operate a casino. And to the Musicians Union and others, the choice is clear. It's Caesars Palace in Times Square. As was mentioned many times, this project is an adaptive reuse of existing office space located in the Times Square bow tie, the entertainment capital of the world. I can't think of a better place and better use for this premise for the casino. It's not going to require heavy machinery and development. You have a building there that's going to be, in a sense, retrofitted to operate the casino. Times Square is the only location in the city which would blend a seamless into the established identity of the character of the neighborhood filled with theaters, music halls, and countless other entertainment activities that desperately need new audiences. And unlike other proposals, Seniors Times Square will not displace critical housing opportunities that our city desperately needs. As well, the team behind Caesar's Palace Times Square has spent the last 4 years meeting with the community, including Local 802. And they, in fact, entered into a neutrality agreement with Local 802 so that when they receive the license, they will enter into negotiations with Local 802 to provide desperately needed jobs for the entertainment community, including our members at Local 802. It will drive tourism and economic activity to local businesses, as we've heard. And it will, in fact, beautify the area through enhanced sanitation programs and beautification programs and performing arts programs. And most importantly, they've developed the most comprehensive plan for private security and safety that Times Square desperately needs. So if there is an adverse environmental impact, that is far outweighed by the benefits to the community for going forward with this project.
10 seconds.
Those adverse impacts are temporary. The long-term benefits will far exceed. Thank you.
Thank you. Next is Len Capicato. Len Capicato.
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes.
Hi, good evening, everyone. My name is Len Capicato. I'm a proud member of Local Union Number 3, IBEW. I'm here today to express our strong support for the Caesars Palace Times Square proposal. From where we stand in labor, this is really a unique opportunity. Of all the potential locations being considered for gaming licenses, this is the only project where we're guaranteed to see a significant number of new, good-paying union jobs to be created, jobs that won't happen without this license. There are other sites being looked at, and we know that those empty lots will likely be developed down the road anyway. And of course, we want our union members to be building those projects too. But this particular site in Times Square, the only way it becomes a source of good union jobs is by granting it a gaming license. So when you say yes to Caesars Palace Times Square, you're actually adding quality union jobs with benefits to our city that simply wouldn't be there otherwise. That's a real win for working men and women in New York. We at Local 3 have been meeting with Caesars team for years now, and they truly understand the value of labor and the building trades. They have a history of working with us, and they've made it clear that they see this project as a way to create a positive outcome to everyone in New York. They've earned our support, and we believe they earned yours as well. Thank you.
Next is Irene Branch. Irene Branch.
Hi, good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for the opportunity to share today. I am Irene Branch. I'm the Senior Vice President of External Affairs at the Doe Fund, and we are very proud to be the supplemental sanitation partner on this project. I know I hear a lot of lifelong New Yorkers and proud New Yorkers on this call, so you're likely familiar with the Doe Fund. We are the operators of the Ready, Willing, and Able program. You see our men in blue across the city providing supplemental sanitation in high traffic communities. Our program is geared towards helping individuals who have experienced homelessness and other hardship to get back on their feet. So not only are we sanitizing and beautifying our communities, we're also supporting our local neighbors in building brighter futures for themselves and for their communities. So we're super excited to be part of this project. We are committed to bringing our high quality sanitation services to this area as part of this project, which, you know, that includes trash pickup, hauling, community greening, rain garden maintenance, event support. We really provide a wide scale and scope of services. So we're excited. We're excited about that and can't wait to be in this community. I'll also say the other sort of hat that the Doe Fund wears is that we are significant developers of affordable and supportive housing across the city. So not only are we helping folks to get jobs, we're also helping New Yorkers across the city find stable housing. And so we could not possibly be more supportive of this project, which does not take up critical space that is needed for the development of more affordable housing so we can get our neighbors into homes of their own. Again, we're super appreciative of the opportunity to speak tonight and very supportive of this project. Thank you.
Thanks. Next is Hank Soderlund. Hank Soderlund.
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes.
My name is Hank Soderlund. I'm a local number 3 electrician. This Caesars Palace Times Square project is a much needed work opportunity for the professional, educated, safety conscious union building trades. In this time of much needed, good paying jobs, with benefits, retirement, and medical, this job on this particular site is probably the perfect place to entice more people. Number one, to travel to New York, spend money, and create much needed work opportunity for not only the building trades, but also for the surrounding areas. I've worked in Manhattan, gone to school in Manhattan for the last 36 years. I worked in Times Square for almost 2.5 years. Seeing a new opportunity with gaming to entice more people to come to New York and spend their hard-earned money, all while creating good jobs, I can't see why anyone would really be against this project. You have 100% support of the building trades, and being a person that works in Manhattan, I know I'll be going there. So I would appreciate your time, and hopefully this project goes through. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you. Next is Henry A. Tavares. Henry A. Tavares.
Hello, you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Perfect. Hi, my name is Henry Tavares. I am a business representative for Local 137, a member for the Sign Hangers Division. I've worked for over 13 years as a sign hanger, and predominantly my jobs were Times Square, 42nd Street, 7th, West Side Highway. This job is a very big opportunity for all building trades and construction trades. And in an aspect that's for the future also, because our trades, we have an apprenticeship program, and this project will help fund future union labor workers trying to get into the trade and learn through this job. I've spoken for many years with the team for the Caesars Casino project and very familiar with what's going on. And I'm proud to say that I do support this project. And I hope that it does go through and follow through. It will generate a lot of tax revenue for the city. It'll generate more people to see Broadway shows. It'll generate more people to spend time in this city, in this beautiful city. For the past 4 years, I've seen a little downturn on 42nd and 7th. I think this will bring this up, and it'll make it a better place overall after the project is done. Once again, I'm all for the project. I see positive things coming out of this. I see more foreigners, more people from other countries looking forward to New York now because it'll have a casino in Times Square besides the Broadway shows. And it'll entice other people. Hey, I'm going to go play in the casino. Might as well go see a Broadway show. Might have dinner at a restaurant. It's all positive news through my eyes. And once again, I'm all for the project. Thank you for your time. And thank you for the team that's trying to accomplish this goal of making Times Square great. All right. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Next is Melba Wilson. Melba Wilson.
Good evening, and thank you so much for this opportunity to be before you today and to share. My name is Melba Wilson. I am a proud, lifelong New Yorker, born, bred, and buttered in this city that I so love. I'm here today in total support of Caesars Palace, Times Square. Later this year, New York State will decide on the best location for a casino in New York. The answer is clear. Caesar's Palace, Times Square. The project is an adaptive reuse of an existing office building located in the heart of Times Square's bow tie, the entertainment capital of New York and the world. Times Square is the only location where a casino will blend seamlessly into the established identity and character of the neighborhood, as well as established entertainment district. Times Square is the only location with the existing infrastructure to handle this new form of entertainment. Unlike other proposals, Caesar's Palace Times Square will not displace critical housing opportunities for our city or be jammed with existing and vibrant residential neighborhoods. The team behind Caesar's Palace Times Square has spent the last 4 years meeting with the community and incorporating the feedback they received into a comprehensive proposal that drives new tourism and economic activity to local businesses to share the economic benefits. And me being a restaurateur, owning 4 restaurants in the city, I saw what my industry went through during COVID. And, for me, this is a trickling down effect. You go to the casino, you go dine at a restaurant, you go see a show. I think it's a win-win situation for all. It also invests in the local community and economy to improve quality of life through sanitation and beautification programs, performing arts programs, workforce development, and retraining programs. And most importantly, it will make the most comprehensive private safety and security investment in the history of Times Square and its surrounding communities. Because of their unique approach, Caesar's Palace Times Square has the support of over 200 local businesses and community groups, and they have earned my total support. You don't see me going out supporting a bunch of different projects. I've done my research, I've spoken to a lot of people, and Caesar's Palace Times Square has my unwavering support. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Next is Stephen Belita. Stephen Belita or Belita.
Mute, okay. Yes, you said it right, Stephen Belita.
Huh.
Everyone talks about all the benefits, how it benefits them, how it benefits them. Nobody discusses how the only way for these casinos to make these millions and millions of dollars is through losers. Winners will not support, as they say, it's a win-win, it's a win-win. Winners will not support a casino. They have to take the money from the working man in the city or outside the city, which will, when they say there's no, they're not going to have parking, but then they say, but there will be additional parking off-site. That means more cars coming in. We have congestion pricing for a reason. So this is going to create more pollution because people are going to come in from further away, from Jersey, from upstate New York. They're not going to take public transportation, no matter what anyone tells you. But the worst part to me about this is that I've spoken to other sites that want to put casinos up is the only way they make their money is taking hard-earned dollars from workers, from people that community members. And they'll tell you we have Gamblers Anonymous, but that's after they lose all their money. One thing we don't have in the city is Broadway Anonymous for people that get addicted to Broadway, Symphony Anonymous for people who are addicted to symphony, Restaurant Anonymous for people that are addicted to restaurants. That doesn't exist. Once people start losing their money, then we have to bring in groups to save their lives. So nobody talks about these benefits that aren't benefits, that just you'll suck the money out, and it's the only way for a casino to make its money. The casino never talks about that, and I'd like them to. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Next is Andrew Schnipper. Andrew Schnipper.
Hi, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Great. Thank you. Thank you for
Mr. Schnipper, it looks like we lost you. If you're able to log back in, we can come back to you. Next is Robert Forster. Robert Forster.
Hello.
Hello.
How are you, everybody? Again, my name is Robert Foster, and I'm the Area Standards Manager for the New York City District Council of Carpenters. We represent nearly 20,000 hardworking union carpenters across all 5 boroughs, men and women that take pride in building the city in the right way. I'm here tonight to speak in favor of the Caesars Palace Times Square Casino and Hotel project, because this project is about more than just lights in a building. It's about jobs, good union jobs that pay fair wages, support families, and give New Yorkers a real shot at a better life. This means thousands of hours of work for our members, not just during the construction, but in long-term permanent roles that keep people working well into the future. At a time when the industry has been slow, we need projects like this to keep our people on the job and off of the bench. I also want to point out that SL Green, along with Rock Nation and Caesars, have all shown they understand the value of union labor and the importance of doing right by the workers who actually build the city. This isn't just about pouring concrete and steel. It's about building an opportunity, about making sure that the folks who've spent their lives building New York and have a chance to keep doing it, and to build a future for their families too. That's why I'm proud to support Caesars Palace Times Square Casino and Hotel, and I urge that the state give the casino the green light for this project. Thank you.
Thank you. Next is Alvaro Gonzalez. Alvaro Gonzalez.
How you doing? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Hello, my name is Alvaro Gonzalez, and I'm a member of Local Union Labor 79. I'm here in support of Caesars Palace Times Square. As a union member, I understand how valuable are the opportunities to create new union jobs, those that create pathways to the middle class. Just like it created for me and my family, it would not have been an opportunity without my union. Those are the same opportunities I want other people to have, especially those people that normally don't get those pathways. These type of opportunities create generational wealth for those members. These opportunities will not come to existence without that license. When looking at all the sites proposed, I noticed that there are large parcels of land that with or without the license should still be developed union. The goal of providing great future for the working families can be accomplished by saying yes to the Caesars Palace Times Square, thus creating more union jobs than there were a day before. That's what I call a win for all communities. My union has met with the team behind Caesars Palace Times Square for over 4 years, where they have expressed time after time the importance of labor and the construction trades. As I always say, if you talk the talk, you must walk the walk. This team has a history of working with labor and the building trades. Their goal is to use this project as a win for all New Yorkers. For all I stated above, they have earned my support. I ask that you say yes to the Caesars Palace Times Square, and thank you for your time.
Thank you. Mr. Schnipper, we have you back on the line. Andrew Schnipper.
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Great. Sorry, I don't know what happened there. Thank you. Thank you for having me, join this call. It's very important decision New York's going to make for where our casino should be later this year. I'm the owner of Schnippers in Times Square, which is a restaurant on 41st and 8th Avenue. We've been there for about 15 years now. So I've seen quite a bit of Times Square over the last decade plus. And, I think there's no question that Times Square is really the right place a casino should be. If there's going to be one in New York City, it is the center of entertainment in New York. It is where people go, that where a lot of tourists and traffic comes in order to be entertained, to shop, to experience restaurants and nightlife and entertainment and Broadway shows, etc. And it just seems to me that Times Square would be perfect for this. Obviously, we're excited about the possibility for our business, but I'm also a lifelong New Yorker, and I know the city, and New York, and Times Square is really where it should be. This project in particular has a lot of other advantages in the fact that it's not going to displace any housing. The building is already set up and is already there. The infrastructure, the major infrastructure is there, and it seems like an obvious project that shouldn't be too difficult to complete. And the reality of the matter is that it is something that's going to drive traffic to New York City in general, not just Times Square. People will come to New York. It's another offering that New York will have, to the public, to be able to give people a reason, to visit New York City. I think, if you think back to before Times Square was revitalized, if it was the late 80s or early 90s, Times Square is in a bit of trouble right now, and it could really use some help, and a project like this will completely change it. The pandemic really made a huge difference in Times Square. People are not back in offices yet. And I speak to tourists every day in Times Square, and many of them are, concerned about what they see in terms of safety, in terms of the general, feeling of what Times Square is, which is not what it was, I'd say a decade ago. This project, has a very comprehensive private and security, component to it, which I think is something that Times Square needs, and I fully support it. And just one last note is, the operators that are involved here, primarily SL Green and Caesars, you could not find better operators more perfect for this, in terms of SL Green's experience running real estate in New York City, and Caesars' experience, running casinos worldwide. So I fully support it. I hope that we see a casino in Times Square in the future. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Next is Elke Fears. Elke Fears.
Okay, I'm on now. I'm Elke Fears. I'm president of the West 47th, 48th Streets Block Association that covers the area beginning on the west side of 8th Avenue all the way to 11th Avenue on 47th and 48th Streets, an area that is mostly residential. We do not feel that the proposed Caesar Palace Times Square project with a casino is a good fit for Hell's Kitchen or for Times Square, sorry. Here are just a few of our concerns. A casino will forever change the character of Times Square and the Hell's Kitchen residential neighborhood. It will increase traffic congestion to an area that's already overwhelmed with cars. It will increase pedestrian traffic to an area that's already overburdened our sidewalks. We are one of the most polluted communities in the city. This proposal will most likely add to that. It may attract an element that will increase crime in our residential community as well as Times Square. It will probably hurt our local restaurants, regardless of what was said, and businesses. These are a few of our concerns. People forget that residents, we have a community just the other side of 8th Avenue. Union jobs are extremely important. We endorse those, certainly. We would like people to realize there are people that live here, and we would need, we feel the effects of what happens in Times Square. So in our opinion, there isn't one good reason for a casino palace Times Square, which includes a casino. So thank you so much for listening.
Thank you. Next is Courtney Adante. Courtney Adante.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Terrific. Sorry about the technical there. Thank you all for the opportunity to speak today, and I'm also going to speak in support of this project. As noted, my name is Courtney Adante, and I'm president of Teneo Risk, which is a physical security and public safety advisory business based in New York City. Our team, which is led by former NYPD Commissioner Bill Bratton, we've worked closely with SL Green and Caesars Palace for the past 4 years to develop a safety and security plan. And this plan is all with the goal to help uplift the area through economic growth, creation of new jobs, improve city services, and importantly to my team, reduce crime and disorder. It's our view, really, by renovating an existing building in Times Square, and this echoes some of the comments that we've heard from other supporters, the casino will blend seamlessly with the neighborhood. Times Square, as we all know, is already a leading destination for travel and business, so the development of Caesars Palace Times Square will not require infrastructure build-out, again, as many others have said, or displace critical housing development opportunities. Over the course of the 4 years, as I mentioned, our team has attended meetings with community leaders, resident associations, NYPD, and business representatives so that we could understand the various public safety issues impacting this neighborhood. We developed a security plan in coordination with SL Green and Caesars Palace with these community inputs and all of the voices taken into consideration, as well as inputs from law enforcement officers, the commissioner, best practices, and their point of view to address the root cause of disorder and to help improve perceptions of safety in the neighborhood. The Caesars Palace Times Square security plan allocates millions of dollars every year for NYPD and private security officers to the Times Square neighborhood, which we know will reduce crime and serve as a deterrent for antisocial behavior. And investments will be made into infrastructure repairs, beautification projects, again, sentiments that I echo that others have expressed, lighting improvements, technology installations, and we think resulting in enhanced police monitoring, which we would coordinate again with our collaboration with SL Green and Caesars Palace, as well as smoother traffic flows and safer pedestrian movement. All the work aligned with the security plan will begin as soon as the license is awarded. My final comment is that we feel this will result in the revitalization of Times Square with significant benefits for residents, tourists, and commuters and the wider city. And SL Green's inclusive approach to development has won the support of over 200 local businesses and community groups, and their dedication to improving safety conditions for the area has earned our support for the project. Thank you again for the opportunity to speak.
Thank you. Next is Maddie Applebaum. Maddie Applebaum. Are we able to unmute Maddie Applebaum?
Hi there. Sorry about that. Can you
There we
hear
are.
me?
We got you.
Okay, great. Just real quick, because I'm repeating a lot of what was said, but good evening. My name is Maddie Applebaum, and I'm speaking on behalf of the over 17,000 member strong New York City District Council of Carpenters in strong support of the Caesars Palace Times Square project. This project would put our members to work. It would create jobs that would just not otherwise exist. It would be a win for our members, other tradespeople, and for the whole city. We know the development team is committed to supporting union construction workers, and the understanding of the benefits a project gains from utilizing a highly skilled unionized workforce that the team have shown over the years that this project has been under consideration has earned them the support of our members and of our leadership. Thank you.
Thank you. Next is Chris Kohler. Chris Kohler.
Good evening. My name is Chris Kohler, and I'm the political director of the Mason Tenders District Council of Greater New York and Long Island. The Mason Tenders District Council is comprised of more than 15,000 working women and men in the Labor's International Union of North America. The locals I represent work throughout the 5 boroughs as building construction laborers, mason tenders, plasterers, helpers, demolition workers, and asbestos and hazardous remediation abatement laborers. We like to say we build New York City from the ground up because, in fact, we do. Tonight, I'm speaking in support of Caesars Palace Times Square. Of all the proposed potential sites for gaming licenses, this project makes the most sense. The casino belongs in an entertainment district, and Times Square is one of the most well-known in the world. Already a magnet for visitors, Caesar's Palace Times Square would enhance the area as a destination. Tourists will visit the casino before or after they take in a Broadway show. Local businesses will benefit from additional foot traffic. This is the only site that is as of right, meaning work starts sooner and New York City starts collecting tax revenue faster. As a world-class casino operator, Caesars is committed to using union labor for this project, which is of great significance to the members I represent and obviously to the many others who've spoken on that point this evening. Union members earn family-sustaining wages with retirement security and health insurance. We are the middle class so many strive to enter. Local 79, who would work on this project should its license be approved, is among the most diverse and progressive labor unions in New York City. Our members would be proud to work on creating a world-class gaming facility in a world-renowned entertainment district. It is a match made in heaven. Times Square, Caesars, and New York's unionized building trades, and a win-win for New York City residents and businesses and the tourists who will visit. Thank you.
Thank you. Next is Lenny Legat. Lenny Legat.
Hi, yeah, my name's Lenny Legati. I'm the president and business manager of the Elevator Constructors. I represent 3,000 elevator workers in the New York area. We support this project. Not only do we lift people throughout the city, we do it as safe as we possibly can. And we are in support of this project. So we look forward to it being approved. And thank you for your time.
Thank you. Next is Anthony Guerrero. Anthony Guerrero.
Oh. Hello.
We can hear you.
Thank you. Hi, my name is Anthony Guerrero. I'm a political director and a proud member of Local 28 Sheet Metal Workers. I'm here to support Caesar's Palace Times Square. This project is unique among potential gaming sites because it promises new, well-paying union jobs that wouldn't exist without the gaming license. Unlike other proposed sites, which will eventually be developed regardless, this site can only be developed with union labor if it receives the gaming license. Approving Caesar's Palace Times Square means more union jobs for our city, a clear win for our working men and women. Over the past 4 years, we've been working closely with the team behind this project. They understand and value the importance of labor and the building trades, and they have a proven history of collaboration with the unions. This project is a win for all New Yorkers, and they have earned my support and the support of the 5,000 members of Local 28 Sheet Metal Workers. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Next is Michael Nauman. Michael Nauman.
Hi, my name's Michael Nauman. I'm the managing director for the Theater Development Fund. We are a not-for-profit organization with a mission of trying to make the performing arts accessible to everybody through many different programs. We believe that this casino project actually will hurt our organization on multiple fronts. The first would actually be our TKTS booth, which is one of our programs located in the heart of Times Square at Duffy Square, right between 46th and 47th, 1 block away from where all the construction will be happening. Navigating the crowds and activity of Duffy Square has always been a challenge, but we've been able to deal with that challenge. But adding in all of the additional traffic, the taxis, the construction noise, the deliveries right in the middle of Times Square will just really make it untenable for our customers. We feel that it will have a negative impact on our lines and will ultimately lose our business. At the moment, we sell about 650,000 tickets to Broadway every year, and we see that declining sharply with the construction going on. Not to mention just the impact that it will have on Broadway shows in general, as noted by the Broadway League. Broadway is really what makes New York unique, and once that starts to decline, I think everyone will feel it. As many producers who are probably listening who have produced shows in Vegas well know that the goal of any casino is really to keep people inside the casino. One of our other programs that will have a huge impact on is We provide autism-friendly performances to Broadway. We bring about 10,000 people every year to these performances. And it's a challenge now for the families with children on the spectrum to come to the crowded city to see one of our autism-friendly performances. They have to navigate the crowds, the noise. One of the main players that we go to is the Lion King, which we've been doing since 2011. With this additional congestion right there, most of these families will not even try to attend. And so these children will never have the experience of going to a Broadway house, going to any theater at all as a family, which they won't be able to do without these performances. We also bring 10,000 kids from the New York City public schools to the theater every year, which we feel will also be in jeopardy by this because of schools and parents not wanting to let the children go to the Broadway area with all of this going on. So we would like to speak out in opposition to the construction of the casino. Thank you.
Thank you. Next is Davon Lomax. Davon Lomax. And again, I apologize for the pronunciation.
That's good enough. Good afternoon. I'm Devon Lomax. I'm with District Council 9. We're the Painters and Allied Trades Union, representing about 10,000 members in the finishing trades industry, including wallpaper, painting, bridge painting, and glass workers. We're rising in full support of this project. One thing I did want to touch on is, yes, obviously the construction jobs are important to our members, but I want to talk more about the opportunity that a project like this provides for New York City workers. You know, there's high unemployment rates in the Black and brown communities, and all of the construction unions work with pre-apprenticeship programs all across New York City, which include Pathways to Apprenticeship, which deals with formerly incarcerated workers, Construction Skills, which deals with a program that I actually came from out of high school, along with Helmets to Hard Hats for our veterans, and non-traditional employment for women, giving all of these different demographics opportunities in our union. And so that's what a project like this will provide. Also, you know, in our industry, if we don't work, we don't get paid. So as much as you know, we would like to work 365 days a year, the reality is that we don't. And projects like this is why we support this project. And SO Green has been a partner of ours for decades, and they understand the value of union membership and union opportunities. And the last thing I'll mention is that, you know, we're the most efficient construction workers in the world, and we're able to build projects we'll be able to build projects like this because everyone has seen our abilities every time they come across a bridge or tourism or tourists walk around the city. So we know how to build efficiently, and we're looking forward to working on this project. Thank you for your.
Thank you. Next is John Jovic. John Jovic.
Yeah. Hi. Good afternoon. My name's John Jovic, and I'm the business manager of Heat and Frost Insulators Local 12. I'm here in support of Caesars Palace Times Square. By saying yes to Caesars Palace, it will create good-paying union jobs for the men and women of my local. I've met with the Caesars team over the years now, and they understand the importance of union labor, and they have a very long history of working with labor. This is a plus for my members and also a huge economic boost for the area. SL Green is taking an existing outdated building and turning it into something special. They have earned my support, and I thank everyone for their time.
Next is Mike Jordan. Mike Jordan.
Good evening. My name is Mike Jordan. I'm a business representative with Local Union Number 3, IBEW. I am responsible for the Borough of Manhattan and the several thousand construction division members who work here. I'm here on behalf of our business manager, Christopher Erickson, the officers, and 28,000 members of Local 3 to express our support for the Caesars Palace Times Square project. By saying yes to Caesars Palace Times Square, it will be a win-win with a world-class gaming, hospitality, and entertainment destination in Times Square, being built with all New York City Building Trades Union members. We urge you to support this project for New York City and the working men and women of New York. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Next is Brandon Lorenz. Brandon Lorenz.
Hi there. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Great. My name is Brandon Lorenz. I'm the National Director of Public Policy for Actors Equity Association, representing 51,000 actors and stage managers nationwide who work in live theater, including on Broadway. I think, as we all know, New York State has a big decision ahead of us about where to put the best location for a casino. Our view is that the Caesars Palace Times Square casino project is the best one. I think there's a common theme here that you've heard from people. The team at Caesars and SL Green has spent years meeting with people in the community and incorporating that feedback into their proposal. They will meet with anybody and talk to anybody. Importantly, this supports union jobs. And as you heard from my colleague at Local 802, the Musicians Union, this is not just about construction jobs, but good paying jobs in the arts as well. It's going to drive new tourism and economic activity to local businesses. They're going to invest in the local community and invest in the Broadway community, including changes to the neighborhood that will improve sanitation, safety for the arts workers who are going to and from jobs in Broadway, which is critical. Because they've done this work and listened to the community. They've also known to treat the unions as partners, which comes through in the comments you've heard tonight. And so they've earned the support of Actors Equity Association. Thank you.
Thank you. Next is Sarah Pennenberg. Sarah Pennenberg.
Hi, can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Hi, my name is Sarah Pennenberg, and I am here on behalf of SEIU 32BJ in support of the SL Green Caesars Entertainment New York casino proposal in Times Square. 32BJ is the largest property service union in the nation, representing 175,000 members across 11 states and Washington, D.C. 90,000 of our members are in New York City. Property service divisions are the backbone of the city's commercial and residential buildings, stadiums, airports, and other places. We believe that an establishment of a casino would provide a significant economic boost to New York City. 32BJ currently represents employees at SL Green commercial locations throughout New York City. In summary, 32BJ is happy to support the proposal of the casino development in New York City, and we are confident that this project will significantly benefit our city's economy by generating opportunity, invigorating local businesses, and fostering community growth. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Next is Anthony Hammond. Anthony Hammond.
Hello.
We got you.
Yes. Good evening, everyone. My name is Anthony Hammond. I'm a tenant at the Woodstock Hotel, which is an independent senior living facility. And I would like to say that most of my tenants in the building, which are 280 tenants, are against the proposal of having a casino in Times Square. At the moment, all of us are concerned that the volume of traffic and noise and the inability of emergency vehicles to get through various areas surrounding our building would be detrimental to our quality of life. I would like to now pass it on to another tenant in the building. Her name is Loretta Glover.
Hi, everybody. My name is Loretta Glover. I concur. Before even this project going up, the ambulances and emergency vehicles have such a hard time getting through 43rd Street where we live at. Okay, and we're right around the corner from Times Square. it's going to be bad on the quality of life. You know, yeah, you probably will get more businesses and this, that, and the other. When it all boils down, we're not going to be able to get through. If I had a heart attack today, tomorrow, where the limos going to go? You know, you can't, you know, because if you're having casinos, rich people are going to want to come in the buildings. And where are the limos going to go? You're going to have all helicopters? You can't have all helicopters. So I just want to say that we are totally against it. And here's another colleague of mine, a tenant of mine, Charles
Perez.
Perez.
Just be aware you have 1 minute left.
Hey, hold on. You know what? The only reason why we're even talking to you is because we found out about it on a West 42nd Street paper. And there was no publication, there's no notification, and we've been keeping a record of how many people from the union that you got on for most of this conversation, and we're pretty pissed off about it. Okay, there's about 19 or 20 union people that came on supporting this thing. And there's very, very few other, most people don't even know about this Zoom call, which is disgraceful.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much for your attention.
Next speaker is Chris Cook. Chris Cook.
Hello.
You're live.
Thank you. My name is Chris Cook, and I'm a union representative for Local 12 Heat and Frost Insulators. I represent over 500 hardworking members that both live and work throughout all the boroughs. As a former resident of New York City, I've had the unique opportunity to live and both work in the area for a little over 15 years now. It's very evident to me that when I'm walking through the area, it just simply has not recovered from both the pandemic and all the other stuff that's gone on the past few years. A project like this revitalizes the area with security, increased sanitation, and of course, all the job opportunities that have been discussed about on this call. I want to thank SL Green and Caesars for both recognizing the need for this and their commitment towards doing this in the most efficient manner. Thank you.
Thank you. We have one more registrant. Solicited as Ori E. Ori E.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, good. I think Caesar's Palace Times Square is the wrong idea for residents in this neighborhood. It will be a negative impact in the neighborhood. Times Square should remain for Broadway shows, off-Broadway shows, hotels, and restaurants. Gambling is the wrong addition. I say no to gambling since it hurts so many people and their families. It will be detrimental to our quality of life. The area is already too congested. It will add more traffic, noise, pollution. Thank you.
Mr. Park, is that the end of our registered speakers?
That is the end of our registered speakers.
I appreciate it. If anyone who has been following along or otherwise is paying attention and wishes to speak, please use the information on the slide to register. At this moment, we're going to take a 5-minute break to allow people to register. And if they wish to speak, when we return, we're going to allow them to participate. I don't believe there's anyone that experienced technical issues that require us to reinstate them at this point. But we're going to take about a 5-minute break. So we'll return at 6:41 and we'll see you in a few minutes.
Hello?
Thank you very much for your patience during this break. My understanding is we do have at least one additional person that is registered. Your name will be called, and then we will grant you temporary microphone access and be prompted to unmute and share your comment. If you experience any technical difficulties, we'll pause and hopefully we'll have another speaker. Our anticipation is to continue to allow people to register all the way up at least until 7 o'clock today before we conclude for today's session. Mr. Park, is there somebody registered?
Yes, next is Michael Piccirillo. Michael Piccirillo.
Hello?
We hear you.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. My name is Michael Piccirillo. I'm the director of area standards for the New York City District Council of Carpenters Union. I'm here today to support the Caesars and SL Green Casino project and hotel in Times Square. This isn't just another big project. It's a real investment in New York's working people and our neighborhoods. We're talking good paying union jobs, long-term careers for New Yorkers once the doors open. These are jobs with real benefits, wages, and protections. But it's not just about jobs. This project brings real community benefits too. Caesars and SL Green are committed to keeping Times Square clean, safe, and welcoming. They're investing in local businesses, workforce training programs that support our schools and our streets. They're making sure the community shares in the success. Our union has built this city, and we're proud to support this project that gives back to the city that built us. On behalf of the Carpenters, I urge you to support this project. Let's get to work together. Thank you.
Thank you. Next is Cleveland Cyrus. Cleveland Cyrus.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Hi, my name is Cleveland Cyrus, proud member of New York City, and also a member of the United Building Trades of New York City. I think this opportunity is a win for the city. It creates jobs, it creates union jobs, and it creates jobs within that organization itself. And it will also add to the integrity of New York as just increasing the benefits of into the food services and just the city overall. I think that we could use the subways. People will come in. You know, it'll increase every aspect of New York, and it's a win for me. I think for the city of New York and our children as well, who may come into the trades and do this work or work in that facility. I agree with this project. Thank you.
Thank you. That's all the speakers we have registered at the moment.
Okay, as we did just a little while ago, I think we'll take another break, give people an opportunity to consider to register to speak. Again, the manner or mechanism that you can do that is off on the slide. You can register. At this point, I think we'll take, it says 10 minutes, but we'll take 5 minutes again and come back, see if there's anybody that has registered. Thank you very much. Oh, thank you. We're back on the record again today. We've had at least one registered speaker, Mr. Park. Would you call the name?
Yes, Dennis McSpeeden. Dennis McSpeeden.
Hi, good evening, everybody. My name is Dennis McSpadden. I am also a well-informed and educated Local 3 member. I support the Caesar Palace Times Square project. The location, 1515 Broadway, is an excellent building. I worked at the MTV Studios as an apprentice there 27 years ago. The footnote is existing, which is great for environmental concerns. It's great for tourism in the area, restaurants, nearby businesses. The gaming license location is prime real estate. You have subways a couple blocks away, buses, local, express, Port Authority, Grand Central, just to name a few. Caesar's Palace, has worked with union labor before and has promised to deliver to our members. So union labor for the project. Many great union jobs will be created for the future employees. It's a no-brainer, New York. Let's wake up. Let's do it together with union labor. Thank you for your time. Let's go, Knicks.
Thank you. There's nobody else currently signed up to speak.
Okay, why don't we take a break until 7 o'clock? That way the registration period will have ended. Anyone who determines to register at that point will be permitted to provide their commentary. If no one, or at the conclusion of anyone who might register between now and 7 o'clock, if we have a failure, then we'll just conclude the session at that point. So if you would, we'll return in 8 minutes at 7 o'clock. Thank you. Okay, we're back on the record. Mr. Park, is there anyone who has registered during our last break?
No.
As there are no remaining speakers and we have passed the end of the scheduled time, tonight's public comment portion of the draft scoping session has concluded. If anyone had difficulties providing comment tonight, you can submit written comments by using one of the methods listed on the slide. Comments can be emailed to Kristen Buckley at gaming.ny.gov, or they can be mailed to the Gaming Commission as well. Our email address and mailing address are listed both on this slide and on the Commission's website. Just a reminder, all comments must be received by 5 o'clock on June 11th, 2025. We've given an extra week for the receipt of comments and moved that out to the 11th. The time right now is 7:02, so we're going to conclude this public scoping session, but I do want to provide a reminder that another virtual scoping session has been scheduled 1 week from tonight on May 28th, starting at 5 p.m. Information relative to that will also be available on our website as soon as practicable. Again, I appreciate everyone's joining us for tonight, and the session is now closed.